Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you Monday, August the 16th. The year's 2021. Let's talk trading. Failing to execute with Walmal. And these videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Hey, welcome back, Walmal.
Welcome back myself. I've been away a little bit, had some family time and some things I needed to take care of. But I've been trading all along, but just sort of out of the loop a little bit.
And you got older, too.
I did. Yeah, I turned the big 6-0. So.
So now you got your official geezer card.
Yeah, exactly. That's what a good friend of mine once said. I believe that was you. So what are we talking about today, sir?
Failing to execute, because we've been on the phone for a couple hours, and you didn't take that last trade that you saw.
Yeah, I saw a trade to set up and should have gone short at 72, and man, it could have been worth 40 pips really. If you look at it now, would have never taken that much because of the way I get in and out of trades, but potential was there, but I just didn't take it, and so you got to question yourself, why didn't you take those trades? And we kind of discussed it a little bit. Part of it was I had made the money I wanted to make for the day, so I was kind of lax in it in that perspective. And the second part, I think, is I'm just not feeling well today. I'm just not sick, just tired and just whatever. And so I'm just not paying attention the way I should be paying attention.
Yeah, because you had called that short at 70, and I said, yeah, because we were looking at, you said, hey, look at the daily chart, and price at the time was sitting in that upper wick zone from the previous day, and I said it had to come out of that wick zone.
Right, exactly. I mean, it was a pretty obvious trade to take, and then I think I even said to you after it all happened, I said, look at this. You had 3 opportunities to get into that trade. So even if you blew the first chance, you had a second chance, and if you blew the second chance, you had a third chance to get in.
Yeah, and then remember, I also called there was that big return bar. I had to get back down to like 51.7, which it did.
Right. Yeah, it was so obvious, But, it's sort of like, do I have regret that I don't have that money in the bank? Yeah, I got regret I don't have that money in the bank. But do I have regret I missed the trade? No, because, that may sound whatever, but the reality is that I'm just not myself today. I'm happy I put the money that I needed to put in the bank today, and I'd rather go and do that on a day like that as opposed to taking a chance and doing something stupid and putting myself in a position where, hey, I got a problem, and that's always the case too. You got to be careful with that. It's when you're just not feeling well, sometimes it's better off. I had a good friend of mine who was a trader, and he said, days you're not feeling well, there are enough trading days in a year. Go take the day off. Go watch go watch something silly on TV that just is completely inconsequential. Why go and add misery to things?
Exactly.
So, and that's kind of how I have to go and look at it, and so I'm not upset. Would I preferred to have not had to do that? Yeah, obviously, but, that's neither here nor there.
But it's just one of the things where, to keep the stats on your favor or in your favor, you've got to take those trades when they appear. Otherwise, you're going to miss out.
Well, you're exactly right, and that's part of it, But, I guess it's sort of like, when if you went through a period where you're losing, and if you don't take the trades after you had taken those losses, well, you're going to miss out on the winning opportunities. But, one of the things about statistics is funny. I was talking to my sister over the weekend about something totally different, than trading, but involving statistics. And the thing about statistics is, all it says is that, over the long term, 80% is going to work, or 70% is going to work. It doesn't mean that you're going to get 8 in a row and two losers in a row. What it means is that over the long haul, it's going to be that. So you could sit there and and take, if let's say your method shows that you're going to win 80% of the time. You could literally, go and lose 80 trades in a row. Likelihood? Very slim, but it could happen, and we have to go and take that into account. But the problem with that is that, well, not the problem, but the thing that we have to take into consideration with that is, okay, how are we positioning our trades? Do we have enough money in our account, and so that we can go and take maybe 10, 15 losses in a row and still be able to trade at the level that we need to trade in order to win? And that's the thing that you got to go and be able to do, because if you don't do that, what's going to happen is you're not only not going to get to take the opportunity to take those wins, but potentially you could even wind up not being able to take the trades because you don't have enough money in your account to take the trades.
Exactly.
And so, this risk management thing, I say it all the time, this risk management thing is it's so paramount in terms of trading, because if you don't have your risk management in place and you haven't figured those things out, you're in, I don't care how good your method is. You can have a method that wins 99% of the time and go bankrupt, because you didn't go and put your risk management in place.
That's true.
So, that's, and if you remember the trading plan I shared with you, a year and a half ago, more than a year and a half ago, we're coming in on 2 years almost, but the big thing in big, huge letters in big red was, preserve capital at all costs, I believe is what I said on that thing. Yeah. And I still believe that. And you just got to go and make sure that, you're in a situation or you're in a position that you can preserve that capital. Because if you don't preserve that capital, it's game over.
Yep.
So that's what I got to say about that.
Well, let's see. We're only 51 pips range on the pound right now. Another muted day.
Yep. But interestingly enough, last hour we had 44 pips on that hour. Which is, that's huge. Think about it. 44 pips. We basically did coast to coast in 1 hour.
Well, yeah, that's what I was looking at. I was thinking that, we had to have a breakout, because before that happened, where were we? We were about, 40 pips or something?
Yeah, something like that, yep. 40, 41, something like that.
So it was just a matter of time, because it seems like for whatever reason, somewhere right around my 6 o'clock, your 9 o'clock hour is when price makes a move, like you said, a coast to coast breakout.
Yep, exactly.
Because you were looking, you were thinking it was going to break above, because you said, I remember you said, look at all those wicks up there on the daily.
Right.
When you told me to look at it, you said, look how many wicks price was cutting through.
Yep. I knew it was going to come out of the wick zone, and I definitely had a bias for a long there. But at the same time, if you remember, I said, but if it goes and breaks that 72 on the other side, it's a goner.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I didn't take that trade. It's sad, but hey, hopefully somebody else out there in YouTube land was able to go and take advantage of that, because that's certainly a trade that we talk about all the time.
Right. So it looks like we just got a lower high trigger here.
Yeah, I went, and just so you all know, I went in the very beginning of this call, I went long, and I just got out of my trade. Just took 5 pips. But what I did was, we had that 3 ball come in on the bottom there, when we came out of that lower high box, and I just took the break of that box, and and just rode it for a couple of pips, and it was a nice, easy trade. I like trades like that. They don't happen all that often, but when they do, it's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my feeling, I don't know if it's going to do it or not, but because we had that huge, candle that came down, was the range of that candle was 44, but from open to close was 34 pips, 33 pips, something like that.
The H1 candle?
On the H1, the previous H1 candle. And more often than not, when we have a huge candle like that, it runs up to about the midpoint, and if it's going to continue its way down, then at that point it'll turn around and come back down. So that just gave me another sort of like reason to take the trade. And that's one of the things I know, Tiro, we don't talk about it all that often, but sometimes we don't talk about stacking up reasons to take the trade. And that's part of it. And the other part that I do is stacking up reasons not to take the trade, which I think is even more important. So if I had gotten a short opportunity there, I would have had the reason to take the trade south because of obviously have some momentum, but also would have had a reason not to take the trade south because we had such a big run, and we know that they likes to go and run back in because people with big money got left behind, and they're going to go and try to force price back there to get to a point where they can get out. Maybe not get out with all that money, but at least get out where they're not getting clobbered.
Looks like you just left 5 pips on the table.
Yeah, I did, But, see, that's not, for me, that's not a regret. I know a lot of people that'd be a regret. And the reason why is because I was only looking to get, somewhere between 3 and 5 pips, and I got 6. I accomplished my goal. So, maybe that's a head game on my part. I don't know. But I try to go and set those goals and look at it that way and say, hey, I got my percentage of the market. And that's all we got to do. Mm-hmm. Is if we just consistently get our percentage, and don't give back, then we're in it for a win. But,
yep.
Where are we right now? We're in your favorite launch zone area, too.
Yeah. Well, in fact, you did take a trade out of the launch zone last hour, didn't you?
I did. Yes, I did. And I grabbed a couple pips there.
But do you have any idea why the range has been so muted?
My gut feel is we're in summer. Because this is typically what happens with the pound during the summer. Last year it didn't happen, but just about every other year it has certainly done it. But I think last year it didn't happen just because of all of the anxiety in the market, because of COVID, because of the U.S. elections, because of some of the social unrest that was going on. So there was a lot of movement, I think, that was being caused in the markets at the time. And even if you go and look not just at FOREX, but even if you looked in the U.S. equity markets back at that time, there was lots and lots of movement, both in the upward direction and the downward direction. This year, even the equities, it's been pretty muted. I mean, it moves, but it's not moving like it did last summer, that's for sure. And it's just it's a summertime thing, Most traders, they take the, here's my gut feel, and it's just opinion, so take it for what it's worth. But most traders trading this stuff in the U.S. market anyway live in New York. School starts the week after Labor Day weekend, which is the first Monday in September. So most traders are taking the last 2 weeks of August off. So you got a lot of people, a lot of players who are outside the market. They're just not there to play. Right. And when you take that money off the table, you're not going to move as much.
Right. One other thing, since the range is muted, how's that affect your Walmal trades?
To be honest with you, I don't take nearly as much because of the fact that we're muted. So what happens is, when I take a Walmal trade, I'm taking a Walmal trade, and as soon as I get pips, I think we talked about this on a video about a week or two ago. But as soon as I get some profit, I just get out. I don't even try I don't even try to get 10-5-1. It's just, to me, it's just not worth it because you look at the past hours, right? Last hour was 44 pips, but prior to that we had 12, 27. That was a good hour. The hour before that was 13. The hour before that was 14. The hour before that was 15. It just doesn't have the movement, so you just, okay, well, we know that. And so what do you do if you're going to do Walmal trades? Get in, take your 2-3 pips, whatever you can get, and get out. And that's just how you have to go and play Walmal trades at this time of year while we have a market that looks like this.
Okay, well, as usual, the fastest 15 minutes trading is up. So, fellow traders, I hope you got some more insight into your trading, and make sure you don't have failure to execute. Because remember, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is TheRumpledOne, over and out.